GLC, how you doing? Gallifrey Madman here with a new video segment that we're going to publish here for you, giving you the insight and outlook of what's going to be coming up in the week ahead with GLC and our race club, so you know what's going on. Maybe there's a race you're interested in. Maybe there's a race you're interested in participating in. Who knows, but you'll get it all right here. And with me, I have my cohort in the media department, Dirty Ewok 75. Say hello, Dirty Ewok.
Howdy, Trips. How we doing?
So, what you been up to?
Well, me getting used to my wheel, to be honest with you. Even though I've had it for a wee while now, it's still, every race is something new and something different. And obviously, you said, I think last week you sort of warned everyone a heads up that I was now going manual. So it's definitely something different. I'll say that, mate. I've had a few engine squeals. Let's just put it that way. Due to dropping down the wrong gear, I'm just waiting for the front of the car just to blow up at any second, to be honest, mate. But I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well.
Nah, don't worry. You'll come to you. You'll get it. Before you know it, you'll be shifting with ease. You'll know what's going right and what's going wrong just by the sound of the engine. So it'll come with time. It's not something you just can learn overnight. But either way, the fact that you've decided to make that move is, I don't know. I'd call it impressive and worth recognition that you have made this move, and you're trying to advance yourself in the realm of sim racing.
I blame you for it all. I blame you for it all. I was quite happy being mediocre and chasing Coughlin on Forza. But obviously you twisted my arm and got me to rebuy Project Cars, and that led itself to, I suppose, where I see myself now, mate. I'm not an arcade racer. I like to see myself as a sim racer, if you like. Cause I've stepped well away from the likes of Forza, the arcade racing. Not taken away from what Forza is. It has an audience and people enjoy it, but for me, it's not for me anymore. And I seem to enjoy things.
Oh, I know. More. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just not, what was that?
I was going to say, as hard as sim racing is sometimes, it's not stressful.
No,
physically, you got a proper sweat on, but it's whereas Forza isn't, it's not technical, but the stress that comes with Forza, it's it's up there with Call of Duty stress. That's what I was saying.
Well, see, for me, it's with when you're doing more along the lines of proper sim racing when it comes to Project Cars, and things go wrong, I can understand why they're going wrong. What aggravated me the most in Forza is when things went wrong when there was no reason for anything to go wrong. It should not have done that. Okay, but my car was going 40 miles an hour. I should not have freaking slid off the track.
I think now I've got a different understanding. I mean, I started playing with tuning and stuff when I was doing Forza, thinking that I understood what the car was doing, and it's not until you play something like Project Cars or something along that nature, where you actually really do start to understand every little tweak and move you make on the car setup rather than a tune. You see that difference and you feel that difference on track, even more so through the wheel. Obviously because you feel it in the wheel. Whether it's that that slight change in vibration to a corner you've done 110 times, you think, hold on, that vibration's not normally there, so you can associate that with the changes that you've made,
right?
Which you don't get with other games.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely all your fault. It's your fault I spent the money I did. It's your fault I spent the money.
You know what? I guess I could be blamed all the way around because I'm also getting these messages from one of our particular quick drivers in the GLC when it comes to Forza, who has recently purchased a wheel setup and has just recently bought and tried Project Cars, and he is loving Project Cars. He did not realize there was a game that good out there until he finally tried it.
Hallelujah.
But he's just I don't know. He's quite happy, and I think he's going to participate in some of our stuff coming up. because we have things going on between Forza and Project Cars, and we also have F1, and he's going to devote some time to both. And he really loves the fact that he has more control and more decisions and choices to make when it comes to actually setting up his car and controlling his car. And he's completely happy. Isn't that right, Junior?
I think. I think with it as well is obviously we all know how fast Junior is on Forza, is that we're possibly going to see a different side to Junior, and I don't mean as a person, as a racer, because as I found that you can't race the way you race on Forza on Project Cars.
No, it's completely different.
Chances are you're going to spend your time cutting the grass and taking out all the advertisement boards.
Yeah.
So you do have to adjust your racing. Now, one of the things I think that may be difficult is if we've got Project Cars and Forza on the same night, if you're jumping from one to the other, we might see some spectacular crashes that could be worth a replay spot on on one of the race news episodes.
Well, we don't know. There might not be a lot of that because, as we said, we've posted that the Project Cars will be moving to Sundays, and then of course the main Forza League. I'm getting a lot of clicking in the line. Is that from your end?
Sorry, that could be my mute. My apologies.
Yeah, don't hit your mute button, please.
Sorry.
I'm wondering what that clicking noise is. Nope, just leave your mic open.
Time bomb.
If people are wondering, yes, this is just our first go at this. Just an idea we had, and we're going to see how well it goes. So if you see a little bit of technical difficulties we're having, it's just us learning.
Just blame me. Yeah, it's me.
But anyway, as we were saying, Project Cars is moving to Sundays and getting away from Saturdays and giving the main Forza League, which has always been on Saturdays. It's the main thing that GLC's been known for. So we're giving them their space, and we're going to do this and move it to Sundays, so that way if there is other people who do actually enjoy Project Cars or even want to try Project Cars, and they want to get into something official as far as leagues and championships, and not just for fun like the Friday Project is that you run on Friday nights, which is basically just fun, but they really wanted to get into something serious, they'll have Sundays available to them.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've just done season 1 with Project Cars, and successful. I'd say numbers weren't high, but I'd say it was a success. To the fact we got through a full season, and we had different drivers dropping in. Some drivers for one event, some drivers for 2, and some for all the way through. But it was just a bit of a learning curve, I think. I think we know where we can go with Project Cars now. We know that there's an audience out there. We know that you're out there and you're listening, and you want to take part. Hence the reason why there's this slight sort of moving about that we're doing, just to make sure that everybody can get the best out of GLC, whether that's Forza or Project Cars.
Yeah,
I think it's a good move, and it's definitely a move for the future.
Yeah, plus hopefully we'll see what happens with this new partnership we have with Riviera Racing, and to see whether his group that he has that runs Project Cars with them is willing to kind of, I don't know whether it's merge with us or not, but also participate in some of the stuff we've got going on. So we may even get a little bit larger. So we don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But we really ain't going to know anything until next week, which we'll get into, because like I said, we're gonna be talking about what's coming up for the following week. But first, we're going to start off with is the Saturday, which is the main Forza League Season 5, which should have ended last week, but due to problems with Xbox Live and lagging issues and too many people crashing and wrecking out because of the lag, they had to forego and retreat, whatever the word you want to use for it. They had to just cancel it, and they will be rerunning the final evening tomorrow night on Saturday. And hopefully Woodle can keep it together because he's just been a strong competitor. Oh, he's just been a strong competitor, and you know what? I really hope it'd be nice to see that if he actually wins this, because he hasn't won any of the bonus points at all this season. He hasn't won a race. Wow. He hasn't won a fastest lap, but he's leading.
Well, if he manages to win this race this season, you never know. We might actually get his first lesson from Woodle's driving school out of the way. It's been advertised for a while. He might get his first customer.
We'll see.
So good luck to Woodle on that. Yeah, good luck.
That's a hell of an advertisement. You want to win a championship without even having to win a race? Come to the Woodle driving school.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely worth a shout. Anyway.
But I think the real not loser. That's not the word I want to say, and I don't want to get the wrong idea.
Competitor.
No, the person who's really losing out on this, who's really suffered, and it's his own fault, is Junior with his Jamaican vacation.
How can he suffer in the sun?
I didn't say he was physically suffering. He's suffering in the league because he took his vacation.
He dodged the hurricane, and
Yeah, he had to go have a hurricane party, But he left on his vacation 100 points up, and he came back to I'm not even sure how many points he's. Let me call this up on the computer here. I'm not even sure, but I think he's somewhere in like 40, somewhere in the 40s as far as being behind now.
That is going to be very, very murky and unusual ground for Junior. He's used to sitting up there and looking down at everyone else struggling to rake in the points there. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how he comes back from that.
He's got to struggle just to beat Mal for second place.
Wow.
Yeah, because there we go. We got Woodle 77. He is at 417 points. Junior is at 383. So yeah, he is 44 points behind the lead. I don't see any way for him to win the championship. He's only 25 points behind Mal. That, other than the two of them suffer,
IP address hack.
Well,
he's not going to win it, is he?
Well, unless those two have a catastrophic failure in their cars, I don't see Woodle finishing anywhere other than third place.
I think it's without saying that if Mal does beat Junior, he'll be over the moon. He'll be dancing.
Oh, you're damn straight.
In his dirty underwear in the back garden.
But you know what? You know what's going to happen now with Mal if Mal beats him and takes a place ahead of him and finishes ahead of him on the leaderboard. He's going to say it was because he beat him that drove Junior to Project Cars. You know that'll come.
Oh no. Well, Junior coming to Project Cars, that's, I've said to you, it's for everyone else listening as well, including you, Junior, it's a concern for me. It's just somebody else is going to beat me. I'm kind of hoping, mate, that when you do come to us, come to you come back from the dark side over to Project Cars, that it humbles you. You're not the king that you are in Forza. It'd be quite interesting to see what you like on the Project Car circuit.
Well, I know he made a comment that he wants to make the move. Well, he's not going to move the Project Cars. He's still going to race on Forza, but he's going to support Project Cars on Sundays because he's really liking the game. Like we said, he has told me he is surprised that he does like the game as much as he does, and he really wants to go at me because I've been such a strong competitor on that game, which I was
until Dave arrived.
Drift Smokey is who he's referring to as Dave. But when Smokey came in, he was quick and but we were bumper to bumper. I mean, he's not even a half a second faster than me, and it was a really good competition. We've only had the one race, so to see whether we'll be able to be that consistent racing each other is something we're still going to have to wait to see. Next week, when we go into the Cup race, that's going to be a challenge for me, because no matter how many times I try, I just suck at the Nürburgring.
It's one of them tracks that, it's. I mean, I think the favourite, most memorable race I had on the Nürburgring was actually on Forza, and that was when we done the final race for the E-cars on Forza, which got quite a following. Now, I quite enjoyed the Nürburgring on Forza. Now, on P-cars, it's something different. It really is. You've got the different cars, the curbs, and you can't throw the cars around it.
There is a bit of a difference. There is a bit of a difference when it comes to project cars. I think project cars, it's where it more accurately depicts the tracks on a lot of tracks. I don't think the Nürburgring or the Nordschleife particular part, the Nordschleife, I don't think it does that one that well, because that carousel or the carousel turn, that is much wider than they have it in project cars in real life.
Oh yeah, it's well timed in project cars, and even the banking. You've got the black and white on project cars. That it's very shallow compared to what it is on Forza, any other game, to be honest with you, that runs that track.
Right.
So yeah, the other differences. You've got the reality on project cars. It's obviously it's not arcaded up graphically. Games can't be perfect, but nonetheless, it is going to be an interesting race. 3 or 4 in there. I'm in no doubt that people will be sweating with the AC fans, the windows open. It's minus 2 outside because I'm in Scotland. It's going to be definitely a sweat session.
Yeah.
But the thing, with that, obviously Junior. We're talking about Junior on the coming into the project cars and stuff. Obviously, he's jumped straight in, and he's jumped straight in with the wheel. Now, I've got to say, since getting my wheel, it's project cars. It is something different. It is, you really appreciate it once you've got a wheel, and I put off getting a wheel for such a long time. I mean, anyone listening, if you're still in the controller, if you have the funds available, I would say get a wheel. There's small setups, there's large setups. You don't have to get the play seat and the full rig. The main galley you've got, go for it. Make that change. You will see, whether it's Forza or Project Cars or F1 or whatever you're playing, the difference in your racing technique and the way you appreciate the game. It's tenfold. It really is. You see things in a different light. You race smoother. You make the times up. And it's more enjoyable. It really is more enjoyable because you feel more connected with the game, which I think's I put it on for ages. One was finances, and 2 was I couldn't be arsed. To be honest, I couldn't. But it really does make such a difference jumping on the wheel.
Yeah, just to ask you, Ewok, because your voice is fluctuating. Is your mic away from your mouth?
No.
Okay.
Is that better?
I'm just getting a little bit of a fluctuation there. That's all. I was just curious whether it's because you were moving your microphone away. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. A wheel is a great investment, no matter what game you're playing. And there's so many different options out there for you. Especially now that
there's some cheap ones out there, yeah.
Well, now that Thrustmaster has even come out with that mid-level wheel, the TMX. The only drawback to that, compared to the others, is it can do everything the TX does, except for change the steering wheel. You can't buy all the different steering wheels to put on there. But the other drawback on it, the one drawback on it is that. And it's not so much of a drawback because it's a decent clamping system, is it uses the clamping system that is on the Spider. So the TMX can't be hard mounted like the TX. But
the clamping system is fantastic. You could play the wheel for hours before you even got to adjust it.
Yeah.
I bought the Spider second hand just to see if I could race on the wheel, and Yes, it doesn't have the feedback, but if you're looking for an entry wheel, you don't want to spend too much money on just to see if you can use a wheel. The Spider is a good option, and you can. In the UK, you can pick them up for 40, 50 quid, like CEX and Game and even Amazon, to see if it's worth it. You're not going to lose it hundreds of pounds. But I mean, if you're like me, I had it a week, and I thought to myself, right, this is not enough. I want more. And that was just from a week of using it. I mean, I didn't have feedback, but it didn't seem to bother me. It was the fact of the connection you have with the game, and I think that's the key selling point to the wheels. To be honest,
it's the immersiveness. It really helps the immersiveness when you have a wheel.
Yeah,
you really get the full effect.
It's a joy. It really is a joy.
Yeah. I as I said before, and people who know me, when it came to the wheel, it took me a little bit to learn it properly and get good with it, which I eventually did. But if it wasn't for the wheel, I couldn't do the racing games and be anywhere even thinking about being competitive. I literally cannot drive unless you're talking about Forza Horizon or Need for Speed, games like that are purely arcade screw-around games. I could not drive with a controller to save my life. It didn't matter. I tried and tried. I got a little bit better with practice and from the help from my mentor who really helped me in the racing games, which is Detroit Boy. He helped me understand the shifting and stuff a little bit more, but it didn't matter. I just could not cope with the steering with the thumbstick. It didn't feel natural enough to me, and it always screwed me up. So I just couldn't do it. So it was either invest in a wheel or just forever sitting at the back of the pack being lapped.
I mean, not to forget to say, I mean, if you go onto Galley's YouTube channel, even on the GLC website, there are videos on there where Galley talks about wheels and setups. Just give a bit of insight as to what the wheels are and what they can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously, wheels can be expensive, and that's a big drawback for some people. And space is another one as well. If you're really
no, I don't go with the space argument. I can defeat the space argument every time.
I mean, obviously you can get the stands for the Thrustmaster.
Yeah, if you've got a recliner in front of your TV, then you can have a steering wheel in front of your TV. It doesn't matter as long as there is 2 feet between your couch and the TV. You can have a steering wheel.
Well, when I first got the Spider, this was I was kind of rearranging, redesigning the man cave, and I've got like a little a cupboard. It's got like 3 drawers up one side. It's about waist height, 3 drawers, and then a cupboard on the right hand side. And I literally ripped the cupboard door off, strapped the pedals to inside the cupboard, and mounted the wheel to the top of it. So I sacrificed a bit of furniture rather than spend the money on the stand just in case I don't like it. Obviously, instead of just buying a stand, I went and bought a whole play seat. But it's honestly, I don't think we can go on enough about wheels. It's one of them things. I am the converted, extremist, wheel extremist. If you like,
he's an elitist.
Here's a really weird thing, actually. Here's a weird thing. Now, Galley doesn't even know this. I saw Galley many moons ago, actually, on YouTube. And I've never mentioned it. I was on YouTube scanning Xbox stuff and racing and what have you, and I just happened to see this video. It's an old video of Galley in his racing seat talking about racing and blah blah blah, and it just popped into my head the other night. And I've never ever said anything. So yeah. So then when I see during the GLC, and then I then saw one of your videos, and I was like, hold on a second. I recognise that guy.
I know what video you're talking about. You're talking about that video I did long ago when I was with that organization named XMGP.
Yes. Yes. That's it. I couldn't think of the name. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
As far as I know, they're pretty much a defunct organization now. But don't know. But I don't know. I no ill will against any of those guys. It wasn't my scene anymore. So I made the move over to GLC, and I've been happy ever since.
It's just about finding where you feel you belong. Yeah. People will come, people will go, and it's just if you're comfortable, you stay. If you're not comfortable, you find something that's for you. And
the funny part is I can't find a comfortable place that has Americans. That's what's really disturbing.
Oh, see, the thing is, we've got a kind of thing in there. But when you sign up to the GLC in the UK, there's a little tick box. It's just to put up with Americans. It's in there. That's why there's so few of you in the GLC.
Yeah. But anyway, we kind of got off topic. We got off topic with the race. On the Sunday, what we were talking about, of course, was the Cup race with Project Cars, which will be the Group 5 class, which is the BMW and the Ford Capri, which will be doing approximately 4, maybe 5 laps. We'll determine that on race night, which is the Nürburgring, which is going to be the Nordschleife with a GP circuit combined. So that is a first for GLC. It's never been done for a Cup or a race. So this is the first time this grouping for a track is going to be done. And I'm looking forward to some good racing.
Now, for people who want to take part and you think, oh, I'm going to go and practice that, you may have an issue. Do you want to touch on this one, Gally? If you've got the standard edition of Project Cars, then you won't have the Nordschleife complete with the GP.
Yeah, if you weren't, some people do. People who were early adopters of Project Cars, we were given all the Game of the Year edition stuff that came with that edition for free. So it's you should have it, or it's available to you to download. But for those who are later adopters or just have the basic edition, the Nordschleife and GP combined, you won't probably find it on your track list because it was added into the Game of the Year edition with the 2 Zonda cars that came with it, and so. But don't worry, this is Project Cars, and that's another beautiful thing about Project Cars that you can't get out of Forza is you don't need to own any DLC or anything for that game. As long as the person hosting the game owns the DLC, you can use it for race time.
Perfect.
So, but as we continue on here, because we got a few other things to cover, and we're running a little bit long here, but hey, that's natural for us. This is our first attempt at this video, and we're having fun. We don't get to converse all that much. But the next race we got coming up also on Sunday is a new season for the Sunday Forza Racing, and they're going to be running early GT cars. That means the GT cars from, I believe, the 60s. They're going to be running it into the R-Class format at the astoundingly popular 865.
865. It should be an unwritten rule if you join the GLC, just get 865 stamped on your ass.
You know what? I think that's the next shirt I'm going to make.
It's the bread and butter.
That's the next shirt I'm going to get made up. I'm just going to say GLC 865.
Why not?
But yeah, so that's what they're going to be racing over there. As far as the competitors they're going to have joining in, I don't know quite yet. We do know Mal is going to be there. He's going to be hosting it. Once it gets underway, we'll pretty much know who's participating in it, so we'll be able to talk about racers then. But until then, we're just going to let you know what they're doing, which is, like I said, the early GTs, which, of course, Forza doesn't... Well, and that's the other thing with Forza is it doesn't differentiate the classes of GT. It's just they're GTs.
I mean, imagine there'll be the favorite cars, and then everyone will bust the tunes out, and you know what it's like.
Yeah, well, and that's the other bad thing about that. a lot of people complained about when it came to Forza was the tuning. That is a tuner's game. If you're not a tuner or you don't have somebody to reliably buy tunes off of, you can have troubles with that game. Unlike Project Cars, where stock cars are even just as competitive as cars that are tuned. Oh God!
Yes, they are, and sometimes they're actually better in stock than they are.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Especially sort of the GT3. Some of those cars in stock are highly competitive, very comfortable, and solid to drive. And then you start messing with it, trying, well, I'll lower this, to try and get a bit more speed out of it, and then you can just mess your whole race.
Oh yeah, especially depending on what track it is, because the believe it or not, unlike Forza, Forza more so just the curbs, but in Project Cars, the track is a factor itself. I mean, the entire track, just not the curbs, not the edging. The entire track is a factor in that game.
I mean, everything from the surface, whether it's the tracks.
Yeah, that's another beautiful thing in Project Cars.
Yeah,
because the surfaces change, even on the same track.
The longer the race goes on, yeah.
Because I mean, what's the Watkins Glen? That's one of the main ones. That one, Road America tracks they don't have the updated repaved version of the games. They actually have the poor asphalt surface.
Yeah.
They haven't updated. Now whether the new Project Cars 2 will have the updated surfaces, I don't know. But again, we really have to stop. I don't know, man loving on Project Cars.
Yeah, so we're talking about Forza. So let's go back to the Forza.
Yeah. So as far as the early GT racing, like I said, I'm not sure who's going to participate. I think Mal, regardless, is still it will be somebody to be considered a factor in that race. As far as who else is participating, we don't know yet. So we'll get into that at another time. As far as the Cup race for the Nürburgring on Project Cars, I'm going to have to say the ones to keep an eye on would be Junior and Smokey.
Interesting. Well, hopefully Gracie can get a bit of a look in there, actually, because I've recently he's had a bit of a rough time. He had a rough time on the Can-Ams. He done well in the Ferrari Cup, but be good to see Greasy.
I don't know if Greasy still has the game.
A consistent session.
I know he was having issues setting up his wheel, but I never was able to get together. I tried several times to get together with him to help him straighten it out, but it just never happened. So I don't know whether he's just given up on it altogether or not. But I'd love to see Greasy make an appearance.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on from there, that covers our Sunday. The next race that will be coming up will be Tuesday's touring car chase. Now I have to say, when it came to Forza, not so much classic, just the regular touring cars.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I'd have to say, out of Forza, as the GT class used to be my favorite, but before my time in Forza came to an end, I'd have to say touring cars was my absolute favorite class of cars to run, especially with that BMW tune I had. That's probably the best tune I've ever done on a car in that game.
Joe, I think you've mentioned that before.
Yeah, I've said it in another video.
Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah. I think with the Forza, the modern GTs almost became the bread and butter for it for a while. It was the one that it pulled all the drivers in. Yeah, we're going to race that.
Well, you got GT is probably the most popular class of racing there is out there.
Yeah, but when done the touring cars, I got to admit, I did enjoy it. And for cars that are so closely matched to be, in some cases, so far apart in the timings, it does come down to the racers and obviously the tunes as well. But I think the touring cars are definitely a joy to race. So if it's something you're into, definitely get stuck in and get yourself signed up for it. I don't think you'd be disappointed. I really don't.
No. It's definitely a great class of cars, and the setup that they're running is not setup, but the format for the racing they're running over there. Everybody just seems to be in love with it. It just seems to be a great format to where believe they're racing 3 races. They've got everybody in separate buckets depending on their level of racing. And the surprising thing over there is after, I believe it's only two or 3 weeks. Let me see here. 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, it's just a shock to see who's sitting on the top of that leaderboard.
And who would that be?
That would be the laughing Irishman himself, Big Ramey.
No.
Yes.
Rangester.
Big Ramey.
To be honest with you, if you don't race Forza, that's going to be one reason just to get on Forza. If you've not been on Forza in a lobby with the Rangester, Big Ramey, then you haven't lived. You really haven't.
That laughing, and you'll know who Ramey is. It's just that laughing Irishman is just.
Oh yeah.
and he's not a chuckler. He's not a giggler. Oh, he's a full belly laughing fucking Irishman.
yeah, definitely. And that's it's not even whiskey fueled. That's just him. He is his own party. It's fantastic.
Yeah, but he might not be sitting on top of that for long because he is tied actually for in the first spot with Lumberbrock at 44. But Lumberbrock is sitting, I believe, in the semi-pro division to where Ramey is in the clan division. So Ramey gets a little bit of an advantage there when it comes time to racing. So Lumberbrock makes mistakes. He can still stay up there on top, but he has to rely on Lumberbrock. And I mean, even Greasy Wheels is sitting only 2 points behind the both of them. So the two of them just keep
all the race for.
Yeah, if they race good races, I don't see Ramey sticking at the top. But either way, just for him to sit there after the first 3 weeks of an 8-week season, be holding the first spot, I believe Ramey just deserves kudos just for that.
Yeah, definitely. For any clan drivers to be up there with the drivers of a slight higher skill, when you're up there and you're holding your own, sometimes you're just in that zone. It might be for a couple of races, it might be for one season. But definitely, as you say, kudos to Ramey for sticking in and staying with the leaders. Hopefully, it continues, and end of the season he's up there on the podium.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But looks like right now, juniors is no contention right now because again, his Jamaican vacation, he had to go rumming it out. He had to go get his rum runners. He's sitting well down at the bottom of the standings, but I think that the two real racers to watch in that league on Tuesdays would be Lumberbrock and Greasy, and of course you've got all 3 of them. I believe the 3 of them are covering all 3 buckets because you've got Ramey in the clan, Lumberbrock in the semi, and Greasy in the pro. So you've got all 3 buckets represented right there in the first 3 spots.
That is really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what the rest of the pack are doing. Do you know what I mean?
They're just following Mal.
To the pits. well, the other 3 just run around the track.
Yeah.
Only joking, Mal. It's definitely going to be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, so again, if you're somebody in the GLC or if you're somebody outside of the GLC watching this video, definitely take a look at that Tuesday night racing season. From what I'm hearing, just everybody's just having an absolute ball with it. They love the format, and I've heard people compliment Mal, but to set the record straight, I do believe this is Junior's brainchild. So if you want to thank somebody for this format, if you're having that good of a time, I do believe it was Junior's idea. I could be mistaken, but I do believe it was Junior's idea. The Tuesday nights is his baby.
And it's growing.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely getting a good turnout. Well, here's the funny part: is while he's not really turning up a lot, but he is on the leaderboard with 4 points at the very bottom with Richcraft. But we actually had somebody turn up one night for those races that we haven't seen in forever, and that was Ma Fury.
Now, Adam, Adam is top bloke. Adam had a little break, got himself together. You know what it is in the GLC. Sometimes life steps in the way, and you've got to step back and just take care of life. As the GLC, they're always here for you when you're ready to come back, for whatever your reason may be. And he's back. He's back socialising. He's obviously back racing and what have you, and across some other games as well. He's kicking about. So it's nice to see Adam back. Welcome back in the fold, mate. I think that lends itself to the GLC. It's the family that it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's happening.
Yeah.
If you need to step away, you can step away. If you need to come back, you come back.
We've all stepped away.
I think that's what makes it enjoyable, especially in the parties and stuff. Is you could be away for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. You might be away for a while. You come back, it's like you've not seen anyone in a week. Everyone you're just straight back into the fold, straight back into the banter, and that's the way it is. And that's why it's enjoyable. It really is.
Well, that has a lot to do with the fact that we particularly look for like-minded people. Sometimes we end up with bad apples. We weed them out. But as long as you're somebody who gets along with everybody and is just looking to have a good time, yes, there's a competitive side to it, but it's not all about being competitive. Most of what we do at the GLC is basically just to have fun and get together,
socialize and
shoot the shit. Plain as we say in America, just shoot the shit.
Race, run, and gun.
Yeah,
that's pretty much covers everything.
We have other racers
the GLC.
Stepped away right now. We're missing Biggie Braun. Lofty's stepped away for a little while. Like I said, Ma Fury's been away for a while. A lot of these guys
just been absent with work and stuff. So
yeah, guys have life gets in the way sometimes. So hopefully everybody will be back. But I did hear from a little birdie.
Ooh.
Lofty is going to be picking up a wheel also.
Now, Lofty, if you're watching, my friend, P-cars. That's all I'm saying.
We know how much he hates it with a controller. Maybe he'll have a better time with a wheel. Who knows?
Yeah. I think it's quite interesting that that people getting wheels now. We've had people that have had wheels for a while, but a lot of people were so happy with the controller. But I don't know whether it's just word of mouth or they're listening to the people that have bought wheels like myself and a few other people and getting that feedback and going, you know what, I think I might get a wheel now. I think even Mr. Rain. I think Mr. Rain was, I believe...
Superior Rain has been talking about a wheel for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of him finally pulling the trigger. But
he was mentioning something about space. I think he mentioned, but obviously you're going to knock that one out of the park. But it'd be interesting to see Mr. Superior Rain on a wheel. It really would. And everyone else, to be honest.
He's halfway decent with a controller, so if he's anything like me and he gets a wheel and it improves himself, he'll be a contender no matter where he goes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, dude, big time.
Totally agree with that.
Another person we're hoping that I've heard rumors that he's looking to make a dramatic entrance, dramatic re-entrance, is the Brocklinator. Broccoli. So
I've not spoken to Broccoli in a long, long time.
I spoke to him not too long ago, but basically just little, hey, how you doing? What's going on? What you been up to? Blah, blah, blah. But He did hint at not staying away forever. He will be making a return. It's just like we said, life gets in the way sometimes. So, and plus, it was summertime. You gotta expect a lot of people prefer to be outdoors instead of trapped inside, being a bunch of pasty people that sit in their mother's basement gaming. So winter's coming.
You sit in your mother's basement?
Oh no, I sit in my own basement. Thank you.
Now, Broccoli, he's a wheel racer, and he races with
Yes.
feedback.
He does use the Spider. He does use the Thrustmaster Spider. Yeah. But he was actually he got pretty good with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was consistent.
He definitely couldn't stay in the clan division anymore. He got that good. He had to move up. So. He's definitely
back, mate.
Well, he was before he left. He was definitely in the semi-pro class. Whether he was good enough to beat the other racers in that class, don't really know because he didn't stick around long enough to find out. But I think he was no slouch, like he was before he got the wheel.
It'll be a hell of a way to come back if he comes back and just absolutely smashes it.
Yeah.
That'll be a hell of a re-entry.
Yeah. That's something to look out for. If you ever see Broccoli, don't count him out.
Oh, definitely not. No.
So then, finally, for the final race of the week, before we start the whole week over again on Saturday, is Wednesdays with the Formula One racing, which that is your baby, Ewok. So why don't you take it from here?
Yeah. Now, the Formula One 2016 is going by the feedback from the community as a whole, not just with the GLC, over the YouTube and everywhere, is the best F1 game to boot. There were some problems with F1 2015, which I didn't play, as this is my first outing on F1, which they seem to have fixed, and everybody's raving about how good this game is. Now, if you don't have it, and if you've never raced an F1 game, get it. It is fantastic. Now, if you're on a wheel, it's even better. But in the GLC, we have got 13 drivers at the moment running on F1, and for the most of them, we've probably got all running every single Wednesday. Now, over 13 drivers, we have got 8 teams. Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's highly competitive in every way, shape, or form. We've just done week 4, which is Russia. We're moving on to Spain,
Catalonia,
and on Wednesday, Catalonia. Yeah. The one thing about the racing on the F1 is, if you thought penalties on Project Cars are bad, penalties on F1 are mind blowing, especially on some tracks.
I heard it's easier to lose your tires too.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I mean, penalties is one. Damage is another. Within the GLC, we run full damage, and it can be as simple as you just clip a wall and that's it. Your wheel's gone, your race is over. And if you've got a teammate, strategy's there. You can't both be in the pits at the same time. One's out, one's in. You've got tyre management to look after. So if you think about your Forza and your P cars, where you're watching your tyre temps and stuff, on F1 it's almost a science. You've got to try and work out how far you can push them, and in even half a lap too much, and you will get a puncture. And it is a fantastic race. That the group of people we've got racing. I mean, the guys heading up. You have got Mav, Looney Tunes, and Mal's helping them out run this. They've done a really good job in building this league, and the turnout is really good. And the one thing we found with the F1 is the respect on track is phenomenal. From people coming back on, overtaking everything. There's loads of communication on track, and it could be deemed that noisy lobby, but it's not, because then what's actually getting said in the lobby is it's all relevant, vital information. So you know who's where on track and what have you. And the reason it works so well is because your race can be over in a blink. And that's what lends itself to the game. It's a fantastic game. We're running 50% races at the moment. So most of the races are about 20, 25 to 8 laps roughly at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Monaco around the corner in 2 weeks, which I don't think anybody is looking forward to. They're really not. They're really not. And it's just, I think, like Forza, it has that addiction that once you're in, it's got you. It really it does grab you.
I do wish I could participate in that. I really do.
Oh, you honestly, to anyone it's not, if there's a demo or your mate's got a disc, have a lend of it, have a couple of races, go into time trials, because the public lobbies are very similar to Forza lobbies, where you can have a really good session, and you get the odd idiot or the odd idiots who just want to take you out, and it's a shame for a game that is the way it is.
That's just the way driving games are in general online.
And the one thing that obviously makes us different to your Forza, your Project Cars, even when you do the open wheels on Project Cars, and in Forza, is the speed. The speed factor in this is ridiculous. You're busting around corners, you're going through chicanes, you're passing, you're undertaking, overtaking, and you don't actually realise what the speed's doing, and how quickly you're actually putting the brakes on and stopping for corners, until maybe you glance down at the speedo, or you have a look at the replay, and then you think, "Oh, that was close. That was close." Sometimes you're passing people and you don't realise how close you are until you look at the replay, and you're like, it's inches. You're literally, the tyre walls are almost touching.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some really good racing going on right now. We've got a few guys who are F1 racer veterans. They've been with every single F1 game that's come out, and in some cases we watch them going into the track. You would think it's a formation lap. Even in some of the tightest of corners, they are side by side, just snaking through the corners, and but you watch it in awe to see. So the guys that are doing that, it's serious skill, and some of the times that they're busting out as well is really good. I think it's a game that is here to stay. I think it will be a permanent fixture in the GLC. I don't see it going anywhere. This season, we've got so much of the season to go, and by the end, it's definitely going to be it's a mission. I mean, to be honest with you, by the time you finish all the races, you've got 21 weeks of racing. Now, if you're a newbie to like me, by the end of 21 weeks, you're going to be a natural at it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's and the weather.
Well, from what I hear, a lot of people are enjoying the game.
Oh, it's fantastic. You have obviously Forza, Project Cars, F1. Every single one of them does weather. Also in Project Cars, if it rains, you've got puddles everywhere. In Forza, Project Cars, the water disperses a little bit. And the nice thing with F1 is when it's wet, as the track warms up, you start getting that dry run. Mm-hmm. So if you find yourself having a nice race and you come off that dry line, it's like being back on cold tires in the wet again. So it's definitely one to get involved in if it's something you're interested in, or you can give it a try. Definitely, I think at the moment with racing games, the GLC Race Club, I think the community is spoilt just now, spoilt for choice.
Yes,
you've got the veteran racer Forza, you've got Project Cars, F1. I know there's some people that are playing Assetto, even though it's not really got a community as such in the GLC.
Not so much of a following right now.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Much like Project Cars, that one's got some issues to work out before it goes anywhere.
The Wednesdays are definitely a joy. It's something to look forward to every week.
Yeah, and like I said, I wish I could participate in that, because I probably would, because I hear everybody's having a lot of fun with it, and it's really a good game. It's miles from what I hear. It's just miles above where F1 2015 was, and they totally redeemed themselves when it came to this game.
One of the things about it is, I think this was Looney Tunes. There was in one race, he'd gone on the pits twice in a race, and within a lap of being in the pits, he'd managed to get a puncture. That's how random this game can be. Your race can be going really fine. You're doing nothing wrong, all of a sudden you get a puncture. So there are also try to keep it as close to, I suppose, the real F1 as they can, where random things is do happen.
Yeah,
and it does make it just makes the game different, because you've really got to think about everything. So you can have a strategy, and then within 3 laps, that strategy's out the window. New strategy, different strategy, and you've got tyre choices, and it's quite technical to think about. But I'm not going to bore the listeners with that, because you'll find out if you jump in the game and have a look for yourself.
So, but anyway, so that pretty much covers what's going to be coming up next week. As far as F1, who do you think the driver is to watch?
Well, see, the names that are sort of popping up now within the past few weeks. You've got Loki, is consistent. He's holding the #1 spot within the league right now. Binary, he's a new member to GLC, and he, in his first race with the F1, he blew everyone away. Pole. Patch Monk's consistent, and Zygon. There's a few other ones in there. You've got like Superior Range, obviously joined us on the F1 as well. Elite Beast is proven a force to be reckoned with. And even Mal was with McLaren. He's now jumped over. He's now with Force India, a new team. So he's getting to grips with that car. But it's definitely a mixed bag. But no matter how good you are, as we found out within the first few weeks of this game, is that you can be the fastest racer, and your race is over within 3 laps. That's you done. So all your hard work and your practice and your quality can be just taken off you in 3 laps, just by crashing out.
Well.
So the concentration levels are high, and it's a joy. It really is. It's an adrenaline rush. Definitely.
So it definitely does not sound like an arcade racers type of game.
No. I mean, visually, it's...
Stick with Horizon 3 if you're an arcade racer, or if you're on PlayStation, go over to Drive Club, whatever, that garbage game that people think is good. Absolutely horrendous thing.
I bought that. It's like... Things I got, it was like £7. Right, I bought it and I was like, okay, let's see. It's
still £7 too much.
Anyone who's got a PS4 listening to this and watching this, you've got Drive Club. We're not having a pop. No, actually, we are. I spent £7 on it. I didn't need to say
yes.
It's
if you are a PlayStation, if you're a member with our group that has a PlayStation and you race and you play Drive Club, more power to you. The game is garbage. I don't know what to tell you. And yes, I've played it. Yes, I've tried to play it. It's garbage.
Yeah.
It can't even. Okay, it doesn't even hold a candle to Project Cars or Forza or any of them. It's basically it's an arcade racer, and it's for those people who don't want to be serious about racing. So
it makes Outrun look like a sim racer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, well, anyway, we have been going on, just rambling on here for the past hour. For those of you who are still listening or watching...
thank you.
Yes, thank you. We're trying not to have all the episodes this long, but this, like I said, this is our inaugural episode. Test run, so be it, whatever. And we are just trying to cover a lot of bases to begin with. So... we're going to be looking to make this a weekly segment. It's not going to be like our our news reports. We're considering this a full-on show, a podcast about what's going to be coming up for the entire week. So this won't be a 10 or 15-minute video. Anticipate these being a little bit longer, more in the 30 to 40-minute bracket, more so than not. I mean, but we could even go to an hour depending on what we have to talk about. But this is what we're hoping to bring to you, to convey what's going on throughout the week, and we hope you enjoy it. Any last words from you, Ewok?
No, thank you for listening. If you're still listening with us, I look forward to our next show. And that's it, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
And for Dirty Ewok, I am Gallifrey Madman. Thank you again, GLC. We will see you out on the track.